when the chimps are on patrol, that's a uniquely intense and aggressive moment, and it's so wild to watch. To see them, these hulking chimpanzees, move through the forest in coordination. When you're there with that and you're very close to these violent encounters with the other chimps, is there any concern there that you could get caught up in this sort of violent frenzy and maybe be in danger of being attacked? Or,
there isn't actually. And that I mean, the what? Let me rephrase that. I would say on a personal level, of course, right? You hear about these things happening. You know it's a possibility. Will be there when it happens and when it's filmed. So we ask exactly the same questions. So this is, I've been through the exact same process as you are now and had this conversation with the scientists. Like, are we going to be safe?
Right.
Is it safe for us to? Where should we be, or where should we not be if this happens when we're there? So. Totally, we had exactly the same questions, and we just didn't know. And we were reassured by the scientists. You'll be amazed. Like,
wow.
If you see those things, they will happen, but they will ignore you. And their only warning was that definitely don't get too close. Because the level of excitement around the chimps during these encounters. If there's ever a time when they could accidentally come very close to you or suddenly see you and get a bit of a fright. They wouldn't want to take that sort of a risk with us. So they did. We were warned, keep a respectful distance from that. But amazingly, and there's a little behind the scenes clip that we've sort of released on YouTube now, and you can see that during the biggest encounter that we filmed, the camera people were sort of like in it and around it, and sort of at one stage sort of like accidentally between the two groups as they were sort of standing off. And that there's certain way. I mean, the chimps move so fast, and they reorganize, separate, or whatever. So you can try and be in the perfect position. But then that perfect position could quickly become where you don't want to be because of where the chimps have gone. So through no fault of their own, there are times when they're in there. Sort of, it's a bit like being a war reporter or something. But weirdly, they're so focused on what it is they're doing and have no interest in sort of involving or redirecting their aggression to the humans at all.
Wow.
I think, because of, there are some quite high profile and sort of like pretty tragic sort of human-chimp interactions, aren't there? In
Ngogo?
No, I mean sort of like things that have happened at zoos or whatever. And I think it does give a sort of an unusual impression of what chimps are like in the wild. They have all that sort of capability, and more so, the Ngogo chimps. There's so many of them, and they are engaged in these sort of violent competitions with other groups. That's a very real thing, and it can get serious, but their relationship with people is just completely different to a relationship chimps might have with people in captivity, or if they've been kept as pets or something. It's not. I totally get it, and those are exactly the sort of things I wanted to know before I stepped in and go. Well, I mean,
for sure.
You need to know. But amazingly, when you've been there around it, and even once you've just been on a single patrol with them, actually, and they are exhilarating. When you go on patrol with Ngogo chimps, it's amazing. They are taking you on a journey to the edge of their border, and they're fully committed and they're coordinated, and
they don't seem to care that you're following them.
And they're allowing you to sort of be there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a it's an incredible experience. Actually, it's real adrenaline.
Yeah, there they are. Look at that. This was my favorite part. Just watching them move in coordination and just wondering, like, how do they know? Like, what are they doing? It almost seems like they're gesturing in some ways, like that chimp with the one hand.
Oh, so this is the behind the scenes
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, exactly. You know, gestures quite often that in our form, or hands all over each other. There.
Yeah.
That's undeniable. These sort of reassuring gestures. They know they're in this like tense situation. They're nervous. I think that you can read into that they're sort of telling each other that, like, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm here. That physical contact is just, you know, it's just reassuring each other that we're in this together. It's you and me.
And when violence does break out, what is that experience like?
I mean,
when you're seeing chimp-on-chimp violence from several feet away, I mean, that has to be wild.
I don't don't really want to give away any spoilers for the series because some of these things are sort of like major plot points in the series.
I know what you're saying, and I appreciate your artistic sentiment.
It doesn't matter.
But it's so good. It's so good that even if you say what happens and people get to see it, it's so good.
I mean, and I would say that, like I said, I often personally, I wasn't there for many of the things that happened, but I was some, and I have been there previously in Go-Go where certain things have happened. It's hard. I think that is chimp on chimp violence is a lot harder to watch than the chimp on monkey violence for me personally. And whether I'm there myself or whether I'm seeing it recorded later on, I think there's kind of a sadness to that personally. Quite often it's because in truth it gets more serious if the chimps outnumber them significantly. So when chimps are kind of equal-sized groups, when they come into contact, they're usually less violent situations.
Because there's too much danger.
There's too much danger, too much at stake. It's kind of a bit bravado. So they run at each other a few times, but if there's enough chimps on either side, you can pretty much know that in this immediate situation, no one's going to get badly hurt. They get badly hurt when they're outnumbered. And obviously that, on a human level, just no one likes seeing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's just that it's just horrible. And it, you know, unfortunately, we've all sort of seen that personally or clips of that in humans. And it's the most uncomfortable, horrible stuff. You know, it really makes you horrible. So, yeah, all of that stuff is very hard to watch.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just say even, you know, interestingly, like I said, the scientists in Go-Go, we know them really well now, and we've worked with them for a long time. So, you know, we share things and they share stories that on a more personal level with us. But they are obviously better than we or a viewer would be at detaching themselves. You know, this is just what happens. They're there to observe and try and understand. It's not an emotional thing. But even they who have been there for many years, and I think particularly because they've been there for many years, sometimes you see an act of violence on a chimp that you've known and been following around for ages. They may not care about you, but you really care about them. And it's sad. Yeah, it's very sad.
During the filming, or at least on the show, there's one instance of the chimpanzees killing another chimp. Was there more of that?
You're blowing all this.
I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
You think it's a spoiler alert, but I'm telling you, it's just
that's fine.
It's so complex
it's
and so fascinating and so good.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay, good. No, it's fine. I don't know.
I know it's your
new
baby.
for me. So
I
I was thinking, does it really matter? It doesn't matter. I don't know.
It's so good, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So that happens.
Was it only one time while you were there?
Well, yes, no. There's another thing in the series we're not going to talk about.
Okay.
But, because that really is a spoiler. But, yes, couple of occasions whilst we were there.
And that is how. I mean, is it conflicted? Do you almost have this like feeling that you want to intervene and protect the chimp, or?
I think, yeah, everybody who's been around, those feelings are that you wish it wouldn't happen.
Right.
You don't want this to conclude in the way that you think it might. But again, I think I totally understand why you're asking, but I think once you've been around them enough, and you have to have this commitment to, and it's part of the same point that you were asking earlier about that impact on their lives. You want zero impact on their lives, or minimal, right? Yeah. You don't want any negative impact. You actually can't make too much of a positive impact either. Also, it just wouldn't be practical. It's not safe. What could you do? Shout and make a noise and try and disturb them just enough for a moment that the chimp could get away, and possibly. But I think that it wouldn't be ethical to do it. It is natural behaviour. I mean, that's my take on it from what I've seen at Ngogo.
Yes.
This is part of their natural behaviour. They are competitive and they're territorial, and those behaviours have served them well in the past. So you can't, as much as it's not from a human observer point of view, that same thing, taking that same situation out as something you observed in the street, all those natural sort of tendencies, desires to intervene and stop something, they're there for good reason. But this is the entire scientific project, our commitment as filmmakers to observe but not interfere. I mean, that's all part of the same thing. You couldn't, if you stepped out of that role in any circumstance, you've crossed a line in a really odd way. But and in a way that sort of helps with what you're feeling when you see or observe those things, because there's absolutely nothing you can do about this.
Right. I mean, of course, ethically, you really can't intervene, but it's still sort of. Whew. I mean, what an amazing experience for you as a human being to have gone through this. It's just such a rare insight into these animals and these incredibly unique creatures and their behavior. It's just, you must feel so fortunate just to have experienced, just as a human being, just as a life experience, to take that in.
I really do. Yeah, I really do. I mean, this, I've been very lucky in lots of bits of my job that I've done over the years. I think that, it's a great job. It's very hard work, a lot harder than probably what people appreciate, and but extremely lucky on loads of things. I do feel with the Ngogo chimps in particular, like you say, as a human being, from an existential sort of point of view, there's I'm so fortunate. And not many people get to see that. And they are our closest relatives. And they are fascinating because of the connections we have with them. They're also fascinating because they're different and they're all individuals. And it's a chance to you kind of feel a part of something that has, brought that important knowledge and information to people. Yeah, so I feel personally very fortunate, yeah.
How do you top that?